When my dad was diagnosed, it was bittersweet because I thought it would come to an end. But I was still struggling because the only thing I knew was my dad. If someone had told me by the time your dad passes away, it's going to hurt more than you'll ever know because you were losing your best friend, I would have said you're crazy. But that's what happened.
Hey.
What?
Figured out why you like junk.
What?
Why you like to fix things, why you make something out of nothing all the time. They got a word for that. What's that word?
It's redemption.
Redemption. Yeah. Hey, what is this note here? Right there. What's that note?
G.
Yeah. What's that note?
C.
C. All right.
G to C.
I guess we're competition now, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest kind of moment where I realized I've kind of got an amazing dad was by my senior year. It was when he started kind of going downhill and hospice kind of moved in. We had a hospice nurse during the day. We had a hospice nurse at night. The night hospice nurse was the guy that my dad really got close to. He was a really cool dude. He got killed in a car accident. And it was really traumatic for my dad. And my dad was like, I can't do it again. Like, don't give me another nurse. I can't go through this. The hospice nurse, she stayed in place, and then she kind of broke the rules and was like, I'm just gonna report you need only a day nurse. And then she taught me how to give him his medicine as a senior in high school. I would sit with my dad from about 2 to 4 in the morning every night and do this. My dad and I had these unbelievable conversations, from who I should or shouldn't be dating, to what's gonna happen after he's gone, to apologizing and wanting forgiveness for all the things he had done. And there's nothing I look forward to more than being with my dad for those couple hours. Every ounce of wisdom that you were supposed to get from your father, it was like we were in the fast lane, like catching up for lost time. That's when it kind of clicked and I realized that this is truly a godly man.
Better late than never.
The reason I say my dad's the godliest man is because I've seen what I would consider godly men throughout my life that were one thing in public and not the same thing in private. The humility of being the godliest man for me is someone that never wanted the spotlight. It really had no personal gain for the change that took place. And so one, I was like, this has to be real. But then to see the one place where he didn't have to go the extra mile and go through what he went through as far as just pursuing Christ was behind closed doors. Of course, I've been around enough to see people that go through change, but there's an agenda there. Maybe I can sell more records or write more books or whatever. And my dad had nothing like that to gain from this. He didn't try to cash in. He didn't try to make it an angle. He just tried to love me as well as he possibly could in the time he had, and that was it. The way he treated me when no one else was looking was probably the biggest reason that I believe that it was incredibly real. God did something huge in his life, and from that alone, I would say that he's still one of the godliest men I ever knew. Like the last couple of months or whatever, he was in and out of consciousness for a while, and the only times my dad would wake up is when they tried to move him, and he would yell for me. I'd hold him up in my arms until they would change the sheets, fix his bed, and we'd reposition him. I just remember this one moment when he was, kind of yelling for me, and I picked him up, and he was kind of whimpering like a kid, and I caught ourselves in a full mirror across the room of me holding my dad. He's holding both arms around my neck, and he's holding on a dear life, and he finally falls back asleep in my arms. I became so overwhelmed with emotion of, I finally got the dad I wanted, and there's not much time left. a discussion we had where he literally kind of told me, you know, I thought you shouldn't chase your dreams. I thought you should just get a job and keep your head down and don't get out of line. And he was like, I was wrong. He goes, if you do whatever you can, just chase your dreams, don't let anybody stop you. Wherever it takes you, just be able to, when it's all said and done, to say you tried. He had a pension fund, not much, over the years of working for the state highway department. And he's like, look, here's the deal. You and your brother will get a check each, $600 a month for 10 years. That's the best I can do to try to look out for you. And you kind of chase after this dream. And then when it runs out, yeah, I don't know how, but somehow I'll be looking out for you still. And I was like, okay, great, awesome. Fast forward 10 years, we had just had our first child. I had an interview I had to do. So I went into my office, I'm holding my newborn, I'm on hold, waiting for the DJ to come on live, and my wife walks in and says, this is the last check. You know, I don't care who you are, $600 gone from your monthly deal and you have a newborn is kind of, oh no, what are we doing? You know, that's a big chunk. And she goes, we have a newborn child, this is our last check, what are we gonna do? And she walks off, and then as I'm sitting there stressing out, they come on the air and he's like, hey, you know, I know you got a lot going on, but we should be the first to congratulate you that I Can Only Imagine is #1. And immediately I thought of my dad saying, when the checks run out, I'll somehow be able to look out for you. And I started sobbing uncontrollably. Normally, even though it's cool to have a #1 song, you wouldn't start crying on the air. And so I remember the DJ going, it's gonna be okay. Like, wow, you're really excited about this. Like, no, you don't understand, you don't understand. I'm holding my newborn, my dad. I'm trying to explain the whole thing. And then by the time I'm done, he's sobbing with me. I said, now my dad, who thought he'd be forgotten 2 seconds after he dies, is eternally attached to this song it changed everything. My dad thought that, you know, he'd be forgotten about 2 seconds after he's gone. Yeah, and here we are almost 25 years, 26 years later, and it's Dennis Quaid's playing my dad. That's a little weird, and, you know, and my dad would be flipping out if he were here. The story of my dad and the redemption, this whole thing is a massive part of my faith. If I'm considered ever a godly man at all, it's because those handful of years I had with him, seeing the transformation take place. You know, if the gospel can change him, it can change anybody. If I face things that seem insurmountable and it just seems out of control, it's like, man, there's nothing in my life more insurmountable than what my father was doing to me. It's not just that it stopped. He went a little bit further and became like the godliest man I knew. That's Paul kind of junk, of like Paul killing Christians and then becoming, you know, the cornerstone of faith is like what, to me in my life personally, that's what it feels like. And so, gosh, it's a huge, huge part of what I believe in my faith and why I am what I am now.